here on my lap. Say hi. Okay, so I just want to talk about a lot of times we overthink it, but with any risk, there's fear associated. Fear of failure, I think, is what comes to my mind. You take a risk entering into lots of relationships, but if you view it more as an opportunity to learn and grow and use it in that light, then it makes a lot more sense. I mean, think of any relationship that you've entered into. Think of what you learned from that person, or from something that happened between the two of you, or even relationships gone bad. You learned something that sort of paved the way for future relationships, future decisions, helped you learn yourself better. I think that's what most relationships have taught me. They've actually taught me a lot more about myself. So I have more self-awareness, what I expect out of friendships, relationships, even my marriage. Even if you just meet someone in passing and you will never see them again, they can teach you a heck of a lot. It's happened to me so many times. We don't know everything. There are things that others know that we don't. They can teach us, or vice versa. I think it's amazing to meet new people. I think it's such a learning experience. Sometimes they don't have to say a word, and they teach us something. Actually, actions carried out teach us almost as much, if not more, than words. And the best learning that we ever do is just outside our comfort zone. I know you've heard that before. I learned that in college, but it's just outside like to take risks where our life is threatened or something like that. I mean, there's good fear, good sense fear, like wearing a seatbelt. But a lot of times, we face things with our career, with our relationship and our private life, with our friendships, and then there's just risks that we take in everyday life, decisions that we sometimes are torn between. And I remember years ago, it was just a giant risk for us to move as children to this lot of land, tons of acreage in another state, and live an entirely different lifestyle. There was farming involved and all of that, and it's not my cup of tea for sure, but I just remember it as a huge risk, because we were leaving one lifestyle, or my parents were, and entering into a completely it's kind of scary because it's not familiar. There's so many changes involved in that process, adjustments to your new environment, and it can be very scary. I don't think they regretted it. I think that decision for them was one that they were perhaps happy that they made in retrospect. I made a huge decision to I'm a very sort of private type person, and there's been times that I questioned whether I should have put myself out there like I do. Really enjoy it. It was really good for me because, like I said, I am quite private. I'm very shy by nature. Even if I was to meet one of you, I'm quite shy. I do better one-on-one than big social scenes. I think I've told you all that before. It was really hard for me when I went and did my videos, with my other company before hundreds of thousands of viewers. Putting myself out there was a tremendous risk for me, just for my emotions, for my, I broke out. I cried many times about different things. I knew what I was getting myself into, but I did it. And it turned out to be, that was one of the biggest risks I've taken as far as my, I'm not going to say career, but as like a lifestyle. Because it propelled me, it kind of got me over that sense of discomfort with putting myself on camera. I had started doing videos before. Most of you saw me working out and stuff. I was doing like talk videos like this, which was sort of helping me, to get feedback and to just get more comfortable doing something. And I remember even pregnant, my first pregnancy, I was so slender when I got pregnant. My body was kind of still perfect, not altered at all by a pregnancy. So that was a little scary for me at that time. And I remember not at first, like not being comfortable going out. And some of you girls might relate to this. I didn't want to go out without my husband because I felt like I was just raised really conservatively, and I didn't feel shameful of being pregnant, but it was different, and it was something I wasn't used to, and I was shy. So I think every time I'd go out, I asked my husband to go with me, and then finally one day I remember just getting over it and just saying, probably going to have more children, and this is so natural. This is a very normal occurrence. I'm married. It's fine. And I remember dressing really cute, even put a little hat on. I had some heeled boots on. I was only about 4 months, 3-4 months, starting to show. And I went to the local Giant grocery store. And I remember this young lady came up to me, and she was probably about my age, somewhere around there in her 20s. And she was like, girl, she was like, you are the cutest pregnant woman I have ever seen in my life. She was like, if I ever get pregnant, she was like, I want to look like that. Even you're so stylish. And she was just going on. And I remember by the time she left, I was cracking up. I felt cute. She made my afternoon. And I just got my groceries, and went all cute back home, feeling special. So that's just a small example. I took a risk, and it was a positive outcome for me. And it never bothered me again. It seems silly to some of you, but that is honestly how I was feeling. So, and then another time I took a big risk, just going, switching schools, switching colleges, moving to be near my fiance at the time, my husband now, switching majors and all of that. And some of it was good, some of it was bad. I have I don't really say regrets, but I was in nursing school, and I sort of didn't finish nursing school, and I was going to go into radiology. So I have no interest in radiology, and now I'm kind of glad I didn't do nursing. Although I know now what I would have done. I would have gone into psychology, guidance counselor, something like that. I think that I would have been really good at that and really enjoyed it, something that I think that I could have kept doing as a career choice. But with small children, my husband and I made that decision that I would raise them, and so you make sacrifices. So none of it really, I have school loans, and I have my bachelor's degree, but it's it's an RBA, so it's not in any one particular isolated subject, or I have a minor in sociology. So I just look back and I took a leap for the future or planning, and I see that now. And you look back and you see choices that you make as a younger person, and you realize that they weren't as well thought out as a choice that you would make now. So I don't question any of that now, because I'm really happy with my life and the choice to have my young family. And I even took a risk of getting off. I had Gabe and Riley. I was all ready to go back to work. They were getting older. I think it was it was about 2 years ago. And then I took a risk of getting off contraceptive, and I got pregnant with Braxton. And I was shocked. I was just completely in shock for like a day. I remember my sister came to visit, and we had gone shopping, and I kind of walked by this full-length mirror, and I was like, why am I bloated? And she was like, are you pregnant? I was like, no, I'm not pregnant. Be quiet, I'm not pregnant. What's wrong with you? And I went and got a pregnancy test because I just didn't feel right. I wasn't like huge or anything, or like protruding. I was just like really bloated, and I noticed my tummy looked different. I was just like, and it was just like, wow. I mean, all of my plans we had to buy a home after that, because we were just living in like this small apartment. So it changed a lot of things for us. But what a blessing. Like, I had Brax, so I would never take that back. Another time in my marriage, I told it was really hard for me to share something with my husband. I took a great risk by doing so. It was a truth that I felt I needed to share. And looking back, it was such a huge risk to take. But I did, and it was the best thing, I think, for our marriage to date. So, not always good things can turn out to be good things, and almost every time when you pair that up with honesty and truth, the end result is much better than deception and lies. So I think it's always good to be true to who you are, true to what you believe in, and then and then the end result is going to be better in the long run, if that makes sense. And there's a book out, I forget what it's called, something like Too Safe for Our Own Good or something, and it's about the 21st century raising of children nowadays. So the way that parents are raising their children, and I forget the author, but it was described as being like in bubble wrap. Everything that their kids do, it's like their life is bubble wrapped, which I thought was a good analogy. That it's actually emotionally stunting them and socially stunting them. So there's always risks with life. In a way, it's like a perfect antidote for boredom, because there's a couple people that I know quite well, and they don't like to take risks, and their life is quite the same, safe, but it's a little boring, and I'm not like that. I like change. I like to try new things, and I like to push myself outside my comfort zone. And it's fine if you're not like that and you're not comfortable doing that. Maybe you had some horrible experience, which has made you the way that you are and stuff. But survivors a lot of times, if you think about it, over the centuries were the biggest risk takers. They were willing to adapt to a new environment, seek change. So it can be a really good thing. It can be quite important to step a little outside your comfort zone in a way that can push your own limits and give you exciting change, exciting newness in your life, and can possibly improve it. So let me know your thoughts and some of your experiences on taking a risk. Doesn't have to be a big one. It can be a small risk, and sometimes it can be life-changing. Informative, and it's a gorgeous day. My kids wore shorts to school, so yeah, I hope that you guys are healthy and that you're in a good mental place. And I am on my last month of Z-Cut, and some of you asked me about my shoulder routine, and I'll just quickly say that I'm not doing anything other than I've added my 10-pound free weights, and I have been doing my Happy Body in the Morning program, and I've been doing my Z-Cut in the evening, 5-6 days a week, and then just little circuits using my 10 pounds dumbbells, and my shoulders and arms have really responded quite quickly to weight. So because I got a really good discount on some free weights. And another one of you asked me about how I come up with my recipes, and you said that they were usually a vegetable, a fruit, and a protein, lean protein, which they are. And I just get the Eat Clean magazine, and I get the Real Simple magazine. Those are the two I get, and there's a lot of recipes in there that I'm inspired by, but honestly it's usually just that I've gone to the store and I pick my favorite veggies, my favorite fruits, sometimes add in a new something, and I honestly just kind of think of it freely. So a lot of times I'm not getting them from a certain book or magazine, usually ever. It's usually something I'm inspired by that I see, and or I just simply try to think of a colorful meal, and usually a colorful meal involves your fruits, your vegetables. And I love eggs, so you'll find actually if you look at most of my recipes, most of them have eggs and tomato, and usually something green in there, because I think that tomatoes go with everything, and it's my favorite food in the whole entire world. So I pretty much think of them on my own, but I'm inspired by a photograph or a recipe that I see in those magazines or sometimes online. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a really good day, and I'm bringing a new workout tomorrow, so look for that, and I'll talk to you soon.